Blades, 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 welcome to a brand new video on the channel. In light of Neil Warnock's recent departure from Cardiff City and probable retirement from management at 70 years old, I thought we'd take a trip down memory lane and take a look at Neil Warnock's first ever Sheffield United 11. The year was 1999 and Neil Warnock had just taken charge of United, replacing the disgruntled Steve Bruce. Neil ended up having a long career at Bramall Lane, winning promotion to the Premier League in the process. However, his first job was to keep United in the First Division, which is what the Championship is now. And his first game was a tough game at home to Portsmouth, which the Blades came away with a 1-0 win and all 3 points. One thing to mention is the attendance for that game, 10,834. How times have changed. Anyway, let's get on to the team. In goal, Simon Tracy. Tracy had a very long career with the Blades, which saw him chalk up over 300 appearances, and other than one game for Wimbledon and a couple of very short loan spells, Tracy was a one-man club. He had spells as number 2 goalkeeper behind Alan Kelly, however gained over 100 more United appearances between the sticks than Kelly. Sean Murphy. When Warnock started playing Murphy in the first team, he seemed like a fish out of water. And I think a lot of Blades fans expected him to be shown the door very shortly. However, he worked and worked and worked on him, and before not too long, he was a fan's favourite and one of the first names on the team sheet. He had 4 great years with the club and racked up an impressive 158 appearances, scoring 9 goals in the process, which isn't bad for a central defender. Wayne Quinn. Wayne was also a fan's favourite after bursting into the team in the 97-98 season, and his energetic wing-back play earned him a transfer to at the time Premier League big boys Newcastle United. It didn't work out for him on Tyneside, and he ended up returning on loan in 2003. In his time as a Blades player, Wayne put on the Blades shirt a whopping 139 times, registering 6 goals, including a penalty shootout winner in the giant killing of then Premier League team Coventry City. Again, how times have changed. Lee Sanford. Sanford was a very steady central defender that didn't make many errors. He as well chalked up a huge 151 appearances before being sent out on loan a couple of times and ended his career at Woking. So that's 4 players already that played over 100 times for the Blades, which you'll find is few and far between for the Championship these days. Sean Derry. Sean was a fiery central midfielder who also liked to put his foot on the ball and play. He only lasted 2 seasons at Bramall Lane under Warnock, and you could probably say had a very Championship level career, but did enjoy 1 or 2 seasons in the top flight. He played for quite a few teams after he left the Blades, but always played a lot of games everywhere he went. A true old school professional. Bobby Ford. From a true hard man to one of the softest players I've ever seen at the Lane. But he had an eye for a pass, created chances and was great on the ball. Not really to the standards of the lads these days, but he wasn't bad in his day. Bobby Ford dedicated 5 years of his career to the Blades, and in that time racked up over 150 appearances. Davy Gisbretts. Honestly didn't even realise he played that many games for the Blades, but apparently he played 17. Then he moved on to Loughran and then disappeared off the face of the earth apparently. Well, according to the internet. Paul Devlin. Devlin was a huge fan's favourite, and he was well known for flying down the wing at pace, crossing or cutting in and shooting. He was one of the best Blades players at the time, and in 2002 he was bought back by his hometown of Birmingham City. He ended up playing 147 times for the Blades, and he's still to this day remembered as one of the best of the late 90s. Bruno Ribeiro. Bruno didn't play too many times for the Blades, but when he did he always put a shift in and played some nice football in the middle of the park. He only played 25 times in 2 seasons and scored 1 goal. He then moved back home to Portugal to play out the rest of his career. Marcus Bent. Marcus was absolutely lethal in his first spell with United, scoring 20 goals in 48 appearances before he became a journeyman striker. He still played a lot of games for a lot of clubs and came back to Bramall Lane for a second spell that ended up being unsuccessful, with him playing 11 games whilst on loan from Birmingham City without scoring a goal. Martin Smith. Martin Smith was excellent for the Blades, however only played 26 times, scoring an impressive 10 goals. He moved on to Huddersfield and Northampton, but fell down the leagues and ended up in non-league before his time, in my opinion. And then there was Neil Warnock. Neil managed the Blades to many respectable league finishes, with a playoff final appearance followed by a promotion to the Premier League a few years later. The Premier League season didn't quite go to plan, but no one can deny his record in getting teams there in the first place. So there is the first ever Blades team under Neil Warnock. I hope you've enjoyed this trip down memory lane, and if you have, why not think about liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching and stay in good nick.